views on like environmental issues in the U.S. today?
Well, we're way behind.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that this administration has really done is rolled back so much of the progress that we tried to make in the last 4 years. We passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which is a monumental investment in clean energy programs. We had so many programs around some of the things that you're trying to do, reuse, recycle, and all of those have been cut back. In fact, some of the votes that we've taken just this week have been on restricting some of the clean air regulations that we've put into place. So it's pretty dire right now, which makes your initiative so positive and so engaging and so critical to our future, because we need more people thinking about the health of our planet and how we can really impact that locally.
Thank you. What about like food waste specifically? Like, is that like a big issue that you see currently?
Yeah, you know, I've got 820 farms in my small district. I represent 35 communities, and you know, when I go and I talk to farms, you know, I think that's where most of the momentum is around food waste, composting, even using farms for new and novel things like solar energy or geothermal energy. I mean, so much of our farmers they're conservationists. They preserve land. They know how to take care of land, and they understand how that works community-wide. And so I get a lot of my inspiration and my motivation when I go home and I see what people are doing, you know, on a micro level, and how do we make that contagious, you know, across our country and at scale.
Yeah. So like, what would you say to like students that want to like take a step in this direction, and like just like a few words of like wisdom from you? Yeah,
no, it's so important. I mean, I think there's so much that needs to be done after, you know, a protest or, you know, sort of making people aware that we've never seen, you know, the climate in such dire straits as we are today. And so really compelling people and motivating people to act locally. Like, what can you do today that will make a meaningful difference in your community? But also, you know, what you're doing, it's mushrooming far beyond your community, right? You have other chapters in other states, and that is a way where your pilot, your idea, can really make a difference, because we can make that catch across the country with more chapters and with more young people kind of getting involved. And that is the single best thing that we can do. I mean, it's easy in this environment to feel defeated or overwhelmed, and sometimes that can paralyze us. Mm-hmm. And I think what young people sort of bring is that's not what they do. They figure out how to act and how to do it. Maybe it's locally, maybe it's a big idea that's global, but they're not sitting on the sidelines. Mm-hmm. They're doing something because you're incented to. I mean, this is something that if it gets worse, you're going to inherit all of the consequence. And so I would just say to young people, you probably don't even realize your power, but use it, even if it's in small ways today. Build that muscle so that you can do it in big ways tomorrow.
So you said that you talked to farms yourself, right? Yeah. Could you talk a little bit about like the financial instability that they've been facing, and like?
It really is incredible. It's already tough for farmers, and especially in Massachusetts. Like, we're not big agribusiness, right? We're like small farms, family farms, farms that rely on seasonal employees, and so the attacks on immigration have hurt their ability to, you know, tend their farms and to grow their farms. Just the attacks on SNAP has really hurt our local farmers. So much of what our farmers produce go to food banks or fresh and healthy meals for people who rely on EBT benefits, SNAP benefits. And so when you make cuts to that program, you're not only hurting children who need that in order to go to school fed and healthy, you're hurting the whole ecosystem of farmers who contribute healthy meals to families. Not to mention what they're already enduring with high gas or diesel prices, tariffs, like all their inputs have gotten higher and higher. And so while we've always known farmers to be scrappy as all get out in terms of, you know, making ends meet and finding a way to bring their, you know, their produce or their livestock to market. What they're facing right now in this moment is a strain they've never seen before. And so I'm sure when you show up and you're offering help, that you're greeted with open arms, because they need that support, and they want to be, you know, they want to be good, you know, citizens in their community, and they just welcome a community that kind of rallies around them and helps.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a little bit about yourself. What made you get into politics and become like the place where you are?
Well, I wasn't as talented as you, so I didn't. So you know, I think I was always involved one way or another in my community. You know, I often tell the story that I grew up 5 streets away from a landfill, a dump. And so I saw activism in my community around closing that dump at a very early age, and I knew it viscerally, like, because I grew up in the summer, in a humid summer, and that smell would waft through the air, right? So I knew what it meant to live next to an environmental hazard. And I also saw something that was pretty empowering, and that a community would always come together to say, this has to stop. Like, you know, what are the regulations on the groundwater? What is seeping into our food supply? And so I think that was instilled in me in a very young age, that my voice mattered, because I saw just in my own neighborhood what it did. That dump is now closed.
That's really inspiring.
But yeah, I mean, I was involved in student government, and after college, I did come to the Hill, and I worked for my local congressman, and so I got to see sort of how Congress works, what it does well and what it does not so well. But it wasn't until Trump was elected that I sort of thought very seriously about getting off the sidelines myself, and putting my name on the ballot, which is a huge step. But I do encourage more women to take that step, because we can talk ourselves out of, you know, taking a step like that because, you know, we're not ready, or we haven't had the commensurate experience, or but it's really important that we have more women walking the halls of Congress, any halls of power, because our voice is so important at the table. And if we don't have more women at the table, we really risk losing ground. So I'm really excited not only to be here and representing the community and the place I've called home my whole life, but also helping inspire your generation to do the same.
You have been such a big inspiration, and it's just amazing to like be able to talk to you.
Oh,
Like, thank you so much.
no, are you kidding me? You're an inspiration. It's super inspiring and definitely motivating. So down for the count. Thank you to everybody that you've brought this idea to, that you've sort of brought into your ecosystem, and for all the growth that you represent. It's
Thank you.
yeah, we're 1,000% supportive.
Thank you so much.